So in the last lesson we created all the necessary 3D objects, and now let's learn how to texture them and how to create different materials. And in this window it will be very difficult for us to texture something, so we need to go to the shading tab. And here all the materials and textures are created. Let's start with something simple and apply textures to the boards. For this, let's select them and click on a new to create a material. And if you're a beginner and are entering the Blender for the first time, we need to activate one add-on to quickly export textures. And for this we need to click on the File, Preferences, click on the Add-on panel, and in the search bar write the Node Wrangler and put a tick next to it. After that we can safely close the window. And to export textures we need to click on this node and then press Shift plus Ctrl plus T and select the textures that you can find in the description below. And as we can see, the size of this texture is not very realistic. And to fix this, we need to go here and click on the UV editor. And before we continue to do something, we need to apply the array modifier. And then go to Edit mode, select all vertices by pressing A, and after that press U and click on Smart UV Project. And to change the size and position of the texture, we just need to move and increase this UV map by pressing S or G. And to add more detail, we can go back to the shader editor and just increase the strength in the normal map, which will make all the irregularities more realistic. And using the same method, let's apply the texture to the stone. First select it, then create a new material, and press Shift plus Ctrl plus T and export the textures found in the description. And to fix the position of the texture, we need to go to the UV editor, select all the vertices in the edit mode, then press U, and this time we need to select the cube projection. You can also select Smart UV Project so that Blender does the work for us and determine where the seams will be. But sometimes when using this method, Blender decides to put too many seams and the texture joints become very visible. And therefore in this case it is better to choose a cube projection. Let's go back to the shader editor. And as for me, this stone texture is very dark and it will stand out in the scene. And to change the color of the texture, we need to press Shift plus A and add a hue saturation node and place it in the middle, right here. And by changing the value, we can make it more gray. You can also play with node to understand how it works and what it can do. And let's apply textures to the branches. And for this we will again create a new material, press Shift plus Ctrl plus T, select textures, select everything and press U, select Smart UV Project and go to the UV editor. And just increase the size and position of this map until we achieve a realistic result. And also for more realism, we can increase the normal map strength. And all that remains is to apply the texture to this branch. But in order not to repeat all this again, we can simply select it, then with the Shift key pressed, select the branch with the texture, press Ctrl plus L and select Link Materials. In the same way, we can also copy modifiers from another object. But we still have to unwrap and change the size of the UV map. And we learned how to export and apply textures to objects, and now let's learn how to create materials using nodes and apply these materials to our main object. And first let's select our product and we need to click on this ball icon, and here create a new material by clicking on plus icon and another one. Also let's rename them for more convenience, and this will be the lead material and this glass material. And we will also need another material, and this will be the metal material. And now let's set the boundaries for each material to apply the desired material to the desired part of the object. And for this, let's select this face and then press Ctrl and plus until we select the whole lid. If you went too far, you can press Ctrl and minus. And when we select the lid, we can separate it by pressing P and selection. And now let's create a material for the lid. For this, select it. And here we just need to lower the roughness parameter to a very small amount. And then change the color to black. And let's also quickly create a metal material. And for this, you need to click on it in this panel and just increase the metallic parameter and lower roughness. And let's apply this material. And for that, we need to create a seam where we want it to start. So let's select these edges with the Alt held down and then right click and choose Mark Seam. And when we press 3, we can select any face and press L, and we will select the entire area to which we need to apply this material. And now we just need to select the metal material and click on Assign. And voila, we have applied the metallic material to the desired part. And there is one last material left to create for the bottle, and that is the glass material. Let's immediately apply it to our object by selecting everything in Edit mode by pressing A and clicking Assign on the selected glass material here. And to create this gradient pattern on this bottle, we need to create a gradient texture. And connect it to the main node. And we will also need a color ramp to define the colors and control the gradient. And we need to place it between these nodes. Also, to rotate the gradient, we need to select it and press Ctrl plus T. Now let's change the type of gradient. And instead of linear, we can choose quadratic. And if we pull the stick in the color ramp, we can control the area that is occupied by black and white color. But as you can see, this gradient is turned in the wrong direction. So let's rotate it 90 degrees by changing the Y parameter in rotation in the mapping node. You can also look at different types of gradient and choose the one that suits you best. But I will probably choose linear. And to make the gradient even smoother, let's change the color ramp type to Ease. And all that remains to be done is to change the colors in the color ramp. And also reduce the roughness. And that's it. As you can see, creating materials is very simple. Okay, now let's add basic light to our scene. And to see any changes, we need to go to the render view. And then click on this icon and change the render engine to the cycles. And device change to GPU compute. And now click on the globe icon, and here we need to click on this yellow dot and select the environment texture. And if we click open, we can import HDRI, which will be the main source of our light. And also we can reduce alpha in glass material a little to create transparent effect. Just a tiny bit. Later I also changed color and changed color ramp to be spine to make gradient even more smoother. And now let's create background and leaves for our branches. And for this we need to enable another add-on, which is called Import Images as Planes. And when you activate it, we need to press Shift+A, Images, Images as Planes, and select Environment Picture. Let's scale it and move to the background. And as you can see, it is kind of dull and not very pleasant to the eye. And to fix it, let's go to Shading tab. And here we need to delete this node. And instead add emission node. And connect everything this way. We can also adjust lighting power, and as you can see, picture literally come to life. And let's hide it for now. And we will create leaves for the branches. And in the same way, we need to import the images into the scene. And all we had to do was scale and place the leaves on the branches. And in order not to import the leaves again and again, we can simply duplicate them by pressing Shift+D.
Seeing monsters at your window. No, you can't sleep, you pretend though. You don't have to play the hero. 'Cause I got you like you got me. When the earth shakes, when the bombs scream, until our last breath, every heartbeat.
And when you're satisfied with your result, I can congratulate you, because in this lesson we learned how to import and apply textures and how to create materials, and also created the main light source in our scene. And in the next lesson we will learn how to create gobo lighting, which is used by all professionals in 3D and photography, and which will always be useful to you in creating attractive renders for your portfolio or for your clients. So let's get started, and I will see you in the next lesson.